Okay then, so it's just before dawn and you're going to be hitting a couple of trails here. So basically the point of this ride is really just to show the sort of differences, you know, just trying to do these things in the dark, and the benefits of, if you are going to start doing these things in the dark, then try and give yourself, you know, an easy out where you're actually riding into improving daylight. What you don't really want to be doing, if you can, is riding into reducing light, and the problem is that you miss out on all the little things. So I'm actually going to be riding through lots of trees here as well, and you'll see the picture will get darker and darker. And there's lots of debris on the road. We had lots of track, I should say, and lots of high winds recently. So here, this is where the trail continues. There we go. So you kind of have to, you know, keep your wits about you. And the problem is that the light, obviously, it casts sort of shadows, whereas natural daylight, the light is spread everywhere, so you can see the you know, you can see the trail quite easily. It's the shadows that you've got to be aware of. Looking into the distance on the horizon, you can see, you know, the light starting to come over the horizon. But actually on the trail itself, it's still quite dark. So I've still, you know, I've got all my lights on, all the sort of fog lights, the headlights and main beam on as well. You know, just line it up as best I can. And you know, this is a trail that I've not been on before, so you know, I'm not trying. I haven't picked a trail that you know, I know well. I'm just gonna see how far I get with this one. I say, you know, it's just literally what, just 6:15 in the morning. So we've got, you know, later, darker mornings now, and you know, darker early evenings now in the UK, starting to come in quite quickly. So let's see what this is like. There we go. So I think I'm pretty much at the end of this one, right? So over this road, oh, it's dark as anything, isn't it? There we go. So if I look around left and right, you can see that there's not a lot to be able to see here. And it's all these little bits and pieces, that's what you've got to be aware of. I mean, if I just sort of stop the bike right now and look around me, you see that's to my left, you can see it's so dark. Right, directly ahead and behind me you can't see anything either. So it's just that, you know, all you've got is that kind of 30 or 40 degrees, maybe a bit more, 60 degrees in front of you that you've got pretty good vision. Then out to about 90 degrees, you know, at angles that it kind of, you got a fading picture really, and then after that you got nothing really. So, and you can see here, maybe just picking it up, you can see where the debris is here. So there we go. Now what I'm doing, I'm paying particular attention to the surface directly ahead of me and trying to work out if it's you know, if it's going to cause any issues. Now you're looking at this and you think, oh well, it's perfectly flat, what's he on about? Well, it is, that's right. I mean, that's you know, that's a good thing. This is the kind of thing that you want, but it doesn't mean that you don't still analyse what the trail is in front of you. So you can see here, up ahead, you can see that, maybe you can see it or not, but there are kind of divots here, the little mini moguls, little up and down bits. So I can already see that just through the shadows cast, you know, from the headlights and the trail ahead. So that's what you're kind of looking for to see, okay, is it going to be an issue? Now, obviously it isn't, because I'm going to keep on riding it, but that's the kind of thing that you want to look out for on the wide open trails. Now when it's narrow trails, it's pretty much exactly the same as in the day, but you just need to be aware of what we're doing. Okay, so here I can see that. So I'm going to get back down to first gear. Okay. So we have had quite a bit of rain recently, so that's the other thing, that in the dark you're not going to really see where it kind of gets damp. You know, those little nuances between really dry and damp, or obviously when it's completely wet you'll know it anyway, but you know, this is the kind of little bits and pieces you wanna look out for. See there, there's a bit of wet patch there, and the front tyre just sort of dug in there. So now the trail narrows a little bit. I'm actually half expecting the trail to be blocked with trees and fallen branches here, but you know, well, give it a go. Okay, so there's a, there we go, it goes around this way. Well, that's the problem, because you're not really seeing a lot either side. You're kind of having to fudge your way through the trails, and making sure. Oh, wait a minute now. I'm not going to be able to get over that. Let's have that. Hold on. We're hitting it at an angle. Oh, you bastard. Okay. After all that, hold on. Blimey. What an absolute knob. Okay. There you go. I just didn't think, because I was hitting at a not a 90-degree angle, that's what the problem, that's what I was concerned about. And because this is the big heavy lump of a bike. Okay, but that's what you want to do if you want to get over you know, any kind of obstacle. You need to pack it out and create a ramp. But you want to hit it square on, that's a, you know, or ride over it square on. If you ride at an angle, you're going to flip the bike. That's why I was umming and ahhing there. But also, before I went there, I was looking around the corner to see if there's an exit point. And because it's dark, you miss out a lot of things. And it's only when I turn the bike that I actually see a gap in the hedge. You know, so I made it through. There we go. Anyway. You can see what I mean though, because you're missing a lot of information, you know, so you're kind of having to, you know, see how you go. Right, next bit then. This bit here. Is this? It's this one, isn't it? Again, now you can see dawn is breaking here. So I'm getting better light, and now because I'm out in the open, I've got tree cover, I've got better light here. But there's still this kind of twilight period, you know. You want to be careful. So this is another thing now. So now you've got the the ruts, I suppose. But these aren't sort of proper ruts. These are like sort of hidden ruts, you know, sort of little trails or tracks within the grass that might be overgrown. So this is where you kind of have to be, you know, sort of careful as well. You want to make sure that your tyre is tracking in, you know, in the right direction. I've got a feeling that in there, I've missed the trail. Yeah, that's the trail there. Okay, hold on. Let's see if I can get through back onto it. Yeah. Because that was a trail there. What a knob. Right. Again, because you're missing because of the dark, you see. Go. Now you see it back into the trees again, and it got very dark very quickly. Because I ponced about with that little ramp, I've lost a bit of time this morning. I do have to be somewhere, would you believe, at this ungodly hour of the morning, and it's a weekend as well. So whilst everybody else is sleeping off their hangovers, I'm up and at them early, and I have to be somewhere early as well. So I'm going to have to see how far I go. But you know, hopefully you're enjoying this ride and you can see where it's at. I mean, look, you want to light everything up as much as you can, and the beauty of coming out really early in the morning is that, well, let's face it, nobody else is going to be dumb enough to be on these tracks at this early in the morning, are they? So there's your one benefit. You can pretty much guarantee that, you know, apart from the odd stray walker or your dog walker, I mean, or something like that, most people are still going to be tucked up in bed, you know. Alright. But everything, you know, you get onto, you just gotta watch really. This way. Right, so this is some kind of private estate. Oops. I hadn't realised I got so close to it here. So I'm just going to quickly try and get out of here before being have the dog set on me. Beauty. So I can already see it's quite damp, and well, the whole track is damp, actually quite wet in places. I think this one's had quite a bit of rain, and I'm just going to sort of take it easy. Yeah, I can see the front tyre wants to track and the rear tyre wants to slip and slide. I've got the knobblers on, but still going up a bit of an incline here. I've got the traction control off now on the off-road riding, because it's although the mapping is great, you know, on these off-road bikes, they're fine. The problem that you find is that if you want to go on the uphill and you want to give it the beans a little bit, and the rear wheel starts slipping, the mapping, even though it's in the off-road mode, it still reduces the power. So you kind of do need to just you know, turn that traction control off. I still keep the ABS on. I still leave it in, you know, off-road mapping mode, because you know what, I don't need the high power setting. You actually don't need really high power settings for off-road riding, you know, it's a misconception really. In fact, a lot of the time you want to keep the revs low, you know, just chug along. But when you do need it just to get up a hill or something, that's when you kind of need to say, right, okay, so that, when I want the power, you know, I need it to be there. Right, okay, a few moguls here. Trees again, you can see how dark it gets very quickly again. And you can see already. Oh, there we go. There we go. Fine. Yes, it's pulled, starting to puddle. Right, okay. Is this one here, is it? There we go. Yeah, lots of fallen debris here, lots of stumps as well. Just want to be aware of this, and this is actually less of a trail and more of a kind of a bit of an adventure, this one. Oh, lots of mushrooms coming through now, look at that. Yeah. Oh well, can you believe it? Got to watch those tree roots then, obviously, because it's less compacted in places as well. You know, you really have to be aware of, you know, the front tyre sort of searching and the back tyre sort of slipping, you know. There we go. Kind of just searching for the path here. I think there's a cutting through here. Wow, so pretty much got to the end of it here. Wow. Yeah, great. So come left. Coming out of the trees, it is quite, you know, dawn-like. You know, it's there's quite a lot of light still under the trees, so it's as dark as you like. It's going to take a long time for, well, not a long time, but it's going to take a while for that to break through the trees. You know, break the light through the trees. This to work in here. There we go. There's a trail up here somewhere. Is it that one? Oh no, this one, right, okay. Nice, alright, okay. Yeah, so it's quite wet and bumpy here. So the front tyre's tracking, searching, the back tyre's sort of, it's all loose, sort of soft ground, they're wet ground, so get back into the hard and compacted stuff and actually makes life a little bit easier. But lots of roots here as well, and you see you're fighting the shadows a little bit as well. Yes. So this is where the traction control being off helps, because you actually keep a little bit of power without the power shutting down, you know, when the rear tyre starts to really spin. I mean, I know it's a kind of a semi traction control on this Triumph when in the off-road mode, so you don't lose all the power as if you would if it's in road mode, let's say, for example. But still, yeah, and it's the same for all of these kind of, you know, all of these kind of big adventure bikes, you know, it's all the same sort of stuff really. Okay, let's get up here. So these routes you're kind of crossing over, you always want to try and get these at 90 degrees. So you remember when I was trying to get over those two sleepers, you know, that's what my main concern was. I was trying to build a ramp either side of it just to launch myself over it, but the problem is I wasn't going to be hitting at 90 degrees, and I knew that if I just went for it, you know, it would sort of flip the bike or flip me or whatever, you know, which is not a good look really. So that's why I was so hesitating. And you know, look, I have found a much easier option, you know, so, and that's, you know, that's my motto really, just try and take the easy option whenever you can. Right. Wow. So I'm assuming this is towards the end of the trail, yeah. Oh wow, look at this. Okay, out into the world again. There we go. And now we're into the the open world. I can see where I'm going now. Yeah, it's definitely starting to wet up these tracks. Right. Anyway, so I'm at the end of it. There we go. So there's a bit of a break-in dawn ride. I think that's a good name for that one. Right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you can see the kind of limitations which I'm trying to illustrate, but it's still perfectly rideable. You just got to be extra specially careful. You know, going out in the dark, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but I wouldn't also say it's anything to be that fearful about. Obviously, if you're, you know, a bit nervous about the dark and you know, and stuff like that, then you know, in isolated locations, yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean, it can be quite spooky out there, I'll give you that, but at the same time, you know, from a riding point of view, you miss out on a lot of information, but you know, you just sort of take it easy and you compensate for that, you know, just by the way you ride as well. Okay, catch you on the next Riding Times, whenever that is. Cheers now, bye bye.
Hello, well, made it out into just after dawn now, so you can see, you know, problems with the lack of light and how it can sort of change your view, but it's still a great ride, it's still manageable, but you know, you're missing out on a lot of information, so hopefully you picked up on that. It's just starting to rain now as well, so we've had quite a lot of rain in the last couple of days in this area, and we've had a really high wind, so you can pick up on the sort of debris on the trails as well. You know, that's going to get worse over the next you know, couple of months, and the trails are already sort of cutting up, you know, quite severely in places, so I think, you know, have to manage that expectation and possibly realistically stick to the wider, harder, compacted trails from now on for the next few months. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you got a lot from it. You know, please subscribe, tell your friends, hit the notifications button, and well, catch you on the next one. I'm going to go in and have a coffee and get dry. Okay, cheers.